There has been increasing attention on the United States Supreme Court as some Americans believe that the polarizing politics of the nation's highest court could compromise exactly, well, what the mission is there. A major question from Americans: could impartial judges recuse themselves? We'll verify.
The cases related to attempts to overturn the 2020 election were the most anticipated rulings of this Supreme Court term. But many people argued that two of the justices should not have been involved in those cases, that they should have recused themselves. First, Clarence Thomas, because his wife Ginny falsely claimed the election was stolen, and Congress is investigating her for aiding in attempts to overturn it. And Samuel Alito, after the New York Times revealed that a pair of flags flown by January 6th insurrectionists were also flown at his homes not long after the attack on the Capitol. Alito says his wife flew the flags and denied supporting the insurrection. He also denied being in violation of the Supreme Court's new ethics code, which says, quote, "A justice should disqualify himself in a proceeding in which his impartiality might reasonably be questioned." Even if he is in violation, the ethics code doesn't say anything about enforcement, so it's up to the justices to self-police. But some people have argued that beyond the court's new ethics code, there's a long-existing federal law requiring recusal in certain cases that applies to the Supreme Court. So is that true? Let's verify. Our sources are the Supreme Court, the Congressional Research Service, the U.S. Code, the advocacy group Fix the Court, and Legal Match. The answer is yes, there is a federal recusal law for Supreme Court justices. It says, quote, "Any justice, judge, or magistrate judge of the United States shall disqualify himself in any proceeding in which his impartiality might reasonably be questioned." But how is that law enforced? It's not a criminal law, meaning violating it can't result in a judge being charged with a crime and sent to jail. Instead, a judge who fails to recuse themselves might get reprimanded or suspended by higher-ranking judges, and their rulings in the case in question could be overturned. But Supreme Court justices don't have any higher-ranking judges or anyone who can overturn their rulings. The Chief Justice's powers are mostly clerical. He can't discipline other justices or single-handedly throw out rulings, which means, again, individual justices have to self-police here. And they often do. Fix the Court tracks recusals, and there have been more than 100 of them this term alone. Every justice has recused themselves at least a few times. Alito has 23 times, more than any other justice. Now, some have argued the other justices could vote to exclude a justice from a case, but we found no evidence that's ever been done. The only other way to take a justice off a case would be for Congress to impeach them and remove them from the court entirely. That would take a majority vote in the House and a 2/3 vote in the Senate, which has never happened in the court's history. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.